The only way to deal with a pandemic of this magnitude that's affecting so many countries and their peoples is to treat it as a global issue, and that means that whatever vaccines are available need to be shared out across the world as fairly as possibly. And for that, we have a global scheme called COVAX, and I would like to appeal to all nations to do everything they can to ensure that the global vaccine scheme, COVAX, can work to the best possible potential.
Can organisations like the WHO and the UN get tougher on vaccine sharing?
The power of any of these organisations to actually request actions by governments go beyond what they want to do is zero. In reality, it is up to countries to decide whether or not they want to share their vaccines.
Well, how concerned are you about the Indian variant? The WHO reported on Tuesday that it's now in over a dozen countries.
Now, there are several variants on COVID moving around the world at the moment. They have been discovered in different countries, and each one of those has the potential to increase the rate of spread of the disease.
And on that point, then, the Indian variant is in the UK, isn't it? I mean, scientists worry it could become the second most dominant variant, but as you say, still officially a variant of interest rather than one of concern.
So the way in which the variants are looked at is, first of all, they are identified, and you have to be quite sophisticated with your instruments to be able to tell whether a virus is the original form or is a variant. Then, when you've found a variant, you then have to decide whether you're worried about it or not. Worry means you decide whether it's a variant of concern. You worry about a virus if it is more easily spread than the original form, or if it is capable of causing more severe disease than the original form. And a third thing that you will also worry about is whether or not the virus is capable of evading the antibodies that are produced in people who are vaccinated. Any one of those characteristics could mean that a variant becomes a variant of concern.
The UK is hosting this global summit on vaccine development next year, and yet we've got the richer countries blocking proposals to waive patents.
Right now, there are many proposals for improving access to vaccines that are on the table. They're all being explored. I don't want to pick out any one proposal and say this is more important than any other. All I want to say is that everybody who's involved in vaccine development, as well as those involved in purchases of vaccines, need to be sitting together and working out together how best to coordinate their efforts.
Do you think the summit will work?
I mean, we're used in the world to dealing with complex challenges where very difficult decisions about sharing scarce resources have to be made. And I would just like to say that it is a good idea that world leaders are ready to meet together to discuss how to deal with the vaccine situation. And I believe that it is also important that world citizens actually ask of their leaders, wherever they possibly can, that they work together to solve this challenge. What I want to stress is that the current situation cannot be resolved by countries going it alone or competing with each other.
Vaccine passports are very close for foreign travel, but with so many countries working on individual schemes, don't we risk chaos and confusion?
If countries try to deal with issues relating to travel between nations in an independent way, there's bound to be confusion for the public and also possibly inconsistency in decisions. So therefore, these kinds of issues of how you determine whether people may or may not travel have to be dealt with through an intergovernmental negotiation.